Elders are a living ancestors. They are our direct connection to the African spirit and way. And we distinguish between elders and those who are simply older, whose menticide has driven some of us into a treasonous arrogance. Those who are truly elders are our seasoned visionaries. They are our proven warrior servant workers. They are those who uncompromisingly speak to what needs to be done. And this is a life of revolutionary sovereignty seeking experience. We hold our vision closer to their hearts because they are us on the horizon of return.
Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put your lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. Yo, I wonder if we seen the elders rise from the grave and they seen us today. Look what they say. Envision as you see my words glide from the page. I imagine they would be so ashamed of our ways. We in the same position, maybe cause we ain't listen. Do we like the discipline for the tunes they was spitting? Or maybe this was karma cause we ain't show them honor. Word to Dr. Ben, we should have held them down stronger. Call it how I see it, maybe that was signs from Jesus. A metaphor on how we gon' treat our own leaders. They came here to teach us and we cheered from the bleachers. And when it's time to ride, we turn our backs when they need us. We pour libations when we form our own nation. I pray we wake up and see the time we was wasting. We even seen Elijah lay the blueprint for black power. Peace to the scholars like Dr. Wilson and Tony Brown. Light us up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave around side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. If you can hear this, throw your fist in the air. We gon' do this for our family that's here. Yo, this is the hour of celebration for black power. To all the soldiers and scholars, giving their flowers. The frontliners like Jabari and the soul vibers. They rep Tubman City, they set the bar higher. And them brothers like KT, the arts degree, they gon' carry on the legacy of Dr. Savior. Peace to risen Islam and Brother Ben. With youth like them, we can end our own suffering. Break the curse of Willie Lynch with Charles S. Finch. Professor Small, take us back to the essence. I pay homage to Carlos Muhammad and Dr. Maya, torchbearers that kept it honest. To light us up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. So through us, they alive. Put the lighters up high, wave them round side by side. We gon' light up the sky where the ancestors ride. For the nights that we cry, but tonight we take pride, cause the spirit never dies. We gon' celebrate their lives. My energy and my thoughts is like John Clark. Still on this marathon like Farrakhan. I got an army of riders taught by Elijah. It's how we start this evolution. Patricia Newton.
Peace and love to everyone under the sound of my voice. Abibi Fahodie, Amanina, Amandala, Uhuru, Sasa. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. You see the title. Today we are honoring Nana Muhammad Ali today on his birthday. You know, it seems like, y'all, January has been packed with a whole lot, family, of just either birthdays or transition days of our greats. And so Dr. John Henry Clark started off on January the 1st, Ashe. So we honored him on the 1st. And then you had Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She transitioned on January the 2nd. And then in between there, I probably got to go back. We had Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Dr. Amos Wilson. We had Dr. Martin Luther King. I feel like I'm missing some folks. Who else we had, y'all? Let me see. Because I have downloaded all of their pictures. So we had, yep, Dr. King, Dr. Amos, um, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. John Henry Clark. I still feel like I'm missing someone, family. Help me out. I still feel like I'm missing somebody. I don't know. I still feel like I'm missing somebody. Help me out. But I know we did a lot of shows. A lot of shows. Hold on. I'm looking. No, it looked like that was about it. That was about it. Okay. So Muhammad Ali today. Dr. King was yesterday. Dr. Amos Wilson was about 2 days ago. And 4 days ago, you had Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And like I said, family, we've been going strong, honoring our ancestors on their birthdays and their transition days. These are holidays for us. These are holidays for us, and holidays are simply holy days, right? These are days in which we celebrate someone or something that is sacred to us, and these are our greats. And so I give thanks for their lives. I give thanks for their commitment to the advancement of all of our people. That's what they all have in common when you think about our greats. All of them came through. They came through this realm, and they were here to advance our people in their own way, right? In their own way. So Muhammad Ali did it his way. Dr. Amos Wilson and Dr. John Henry Clark and them, they did it their way. Dr. Khalid Muhammad did it his way. Dr. Martin Luther King did it his way. Ashe. But the way that the goal, if you look at all of them, was to advance us as a collective, whether that was through, knowledge of self, whatever it was. You get what I'm saying? They wanted to advance us. And so I give thanks for their lives. I give thanks for their sacrifices. They made a lot of sacrifices. And I give thanks for their commitment to the liberation and advancement of Black people. Take a moment, our family, and share this video. Share this video. Today, again, we're honoring Muhammad Ali. We're honoring Muhammad Ali on his birthday, and we say Muhammad Ali. We know his given name was Cassius Clay, but remember, the dominant society refused to call him by that name, right? Because they try to deprive us of the right to self-define, right? They try to deprive us of that. They try to deprive us of Kujichagulia, self-determination. And so he came through. He's like, "No, you're gonna call me by my name." He told them, "You're gonna call me by my name." Right? You're going to call me by my name. And so anyway, family, when I think of Muhammad Ali, I think you can't talk about Black power without talking about Muhammad Ali. And we know that he was in the Nation of Islam. He was in the Nation of Islam. I can't wait to sit back and just throw on some popcorn tonight and watch the movie with the fam. I think Will Smith did a wonderful job. I got up, years ago when I watched the film. I felt like I was watching Muhammad Ali. I think he did a phenomenal job portraying Muhammad Ali. But we know that he was a Muslim. He was a devout Muslim. And shout out to the Nation of Islam. There are a lot of you who don't, in my opinion, I don't think that the Nation of Islam gets its just due when you talk about Black empowerment. I don't think they get their just due. A lot of people in this community, I've seen them. I'm not going to quantify it, but I will say that there's an element of Black folks that will throw daggers at the nation and don't give the nation their just due. We can't talk about Black power without talking about the nation. Even when you think about the Black power movement, they will tell you that a lot of those people who were involved in the Black power movement were sons and daughters of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? They'll tell you that. So we can't talk about Black empowerment or the Black movement or the freedom movement without including the Nation of Islam. They played a huge role in that when they talked about self-help, self-determination, functioning as a nation within they said all of that. Those are the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And so we can't talk about that. We can't talk about Black empowerment without giving, salute to the nation. So some of you may not agree with their religion, but I know you agree with their ideology. And their ideology is Black nationalism all the way. And so anyway, salute to the nation Salute to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Salute to Minister Farrakhan. I know a lot of you say, oh, Dr. Maat, but they was involved with Malcolm. And now we got all this information coming out that's questioning that. All of the information is coming out. And shout out to, it was a Baba that I've been trying to get on this platform. I've had Dr. Wesley Muhammad on, and it's a Baba who's done extensive research. I'm having a brain freeze right now, but there's an elder who's done extensive research on, the Malcolm X, the assassination of Malcolm X, and he believes that the Nation of Islam is complicit in that. And I'm trying to get that elder on this platform so that we can have a balanced conversation about what took place. But a lot of information, a lot of evidence now is coming out, and and it is not looking like it's the nation anymore. And so anyway, family, take a moment out, thumb up the video. I had Brother Knowledge Born Allah in the building. I'm getting ready to bring him in shortly. I see Goddess Yemaya. I'm sorry. She said that she already liked and shared the video. I see a lot of you coming in to show love. Ben Frank was saying, he's the greatest. He was. And Shabaka said, one love and happy birthday to the Honorable Muhammad Ali. He said, met him walking down the street. Oh my gosh, I'm Shabaka, I'm jealous. Met him walking down the streets of Camden, New Jersey. He was truly a man of the people. Ashe. I see Ears to the Street is in the building. Peace and love to you, beloved. Ben Frank said, yes, salute to the brother Ali. He beat Superman. Come on. Facts. Facts on top of facts on top of facts. Kenneth Gardner said, the greatest of all time, our people's. He was a people's champion. He was a people's champion. And I think that it's no denying that he was, that he was a people's champion. He was out with the community. See, Knowledge Born, like Muhammad Ali wasn't one of those celebrities riding around in the community with a limo, pass you, or what are they driving now? Phantoms and Bentleys and Rolls Royce. He wasn't that guy coming through your neighborhood like that. He would just be jogging. You could go to the store. It's people who, Brother Knowledge Born, who said they will go outside and go to the store, or might be out for a morning jog, and he just run jogging through the neighborhood. And before you know it, other people, oh, that's Muhammad Ali. So then you going outside just wanting to jog. He wasn't a standoffish celebrity. How nowadays these celebrities are really, they're really detached from the community. They don't live around the way. They don't come around the way. They don't they're not concerned with the plight of Black America and the issues that are happening, too. It's kind of like, I got my fame, I got my fortune, my family we're living over here, we're good. Y'all go ahead. It's kind of like they forget. Muhammad Ali never forgot. He never forgot, he never forgot who he was. With all the fame and the fortune, he never, ever forgot who he was. He screamed Black power. He talked about Black issues, and he did it unapologetically. I look at back, Brother Knowledge Born, at some of those clips, from the 70s, the early 70s and late 70s, when he was, being interviewed, and he was hilarious to listen to, by the way, but he was unapologetically Black, in his ideology and any of his positions. Unlike a lot of these celebrities that you see today, they're not about Blackness at all. You don't hear them in interviews bringing light to issues that plague Black America. And I'm not going to say none of them, but I'm going to say the majority of them, they don't. They're very detached, from the Black community. But with Muhammad Ali, you didn't see that. He was a people's champion. He was for the people. And I love that he was proud of his Blackness. And I got to give credit to the Nation of Islam. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about in terms of him being proud of his Blackness and him understanding who he is and understanding his purpose, when it comes to furthering the interest and advancement of Black people. And so I got to give the nation credit, for what they did. And I'm gonna land my plane, but I do want to say this, Brother Knowledge Boom, before you came on, I was saying how I don't feel like the Nation of Islam gets the credit that they deserve. The teachings of Elijah Muhammad transformed a lot of men. I heard so many brothers, I'm talking about elders from back in the day, say I was on drugs, I was pimping, I was robbing, I was stealing, I was doing this. But then when I came across the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, it transformed my life. So regardless of how you all feel about the nation, how you all feel about Minister Farrakhan, or how you all feel about Elijah Muhammad, you cannot deny, none of us can deny that their teachings have transformed Black men in a way that a lot of other teachers, I'm not going to bang on Christianity. I'm not going to do it, brother, knowledge boy. I'm not going to do it. But we can't deny how they have I've seen brothers turn their lives around based on these teachings. I'm telling you, based on these teachings, and so you may not agree with it, because I know we got some people, oh, Doc, I don't believe in all that other stuff, but you can't deny the power, right? The transformative power of the teachings of the Nation of Islam. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. Look at Malcolm. Just read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Now we do know that he came. There we go. We do know, family, that Malcolm X came from a family of Garveyites. We do know that. But look at what was happening with Malcolm. And look at what happened when he came across the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and how they transformed that brother. Okay. The Black Panther Party, all of them they're sons and daughters of the nation. We can't talk. You're not going to get the Black Panther Party, brother Knowledge Born, without the Nation of Islam. You're just not going to get it. I remember it was a movie that came out in the 90s called Panther. And Bobby Seale said, man, he was like, they was listening to Martin, but he was like, man, we up here listening to Malcolm, Malcolm said we need to start, swinging, man, and so a lot of those people, a lot of those organizations sprouted up because of the teachers of Elijah Muhammad and the teachers of Malcolm X. So anyway, I'm gonna land my plane there. I just wanted to say that, I honor and praise, Muhammad Ali. He is Black power. When I think about Black power, I think about Muhammad Ali. He is Black power. He exudes, he embodies, Black power. I see a strong Black man, a Black man who exuded self-pride and self-dignity. And he was very cocky and confident. I'm the greatest, and I loved it. I love to see Black men who are just confident in their abilities and who they are, and secure and also proud of their Blackness. You get what I'm saying? He was all of that. And so anyway, I'm going to land my plane. Family, make sure that you thumb up the video right now. You know the way the YouTube algorithm works. The more you engage with the video, the comments and the thumbs, the more it pops up. So thumb up the video. Also, family, share this link. Let's get the word out that Dr. Maat is live tonight. Myself and Brother Knowledge Born will be honoring, Muhammad Ali on his birthday. So if you're on Twitter, tweet the link. If you're on Facebook, post the link, or whatever social media platform you are on. Get the word out. Let's get the views up. And I land my plane. Brother Knowledge Born. Can't hear you, brother. You got to unmute. You got to unmute yourself, brother.
Okay. Got to make sure mic switching from the mic on the computer to the mic over here. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you loud and clear now, brother.
All right. Peace and Black power. Okay.
Peace and Black power to you, warrior.
It's another day with you. Let me tell you something. God is good. Okay. She continue to bless me and push me in the path that I get to spend a little quality time with Dr. Maat, honoring our legends. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you start talking about these other folks, they never let their legends die, no matter what their legends did or what they're legendary for.
Come on.
So we want a day to honor another legend on the transition day of another legend. Patrice Lumumba's transition day is today. So
yes.
Put it down your notes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Patrice Lumumba, who coincidentally has a tie-in with the legacy of Muhammad Ali as well, because the Rumble in the Jungle took place in Kinshasa, Zaire, after the overthrow of Patrice Lumumba and the replacement with that other man's name we don't mention. We don't give no props to to the turncoats. You understand what I'm saying? So he was the president at the time with the Rumble in the Jungle fight. So when they fought in Kinshasa, Zaire, which they changed the whole region to the Democratic Republic of the Congo over there.
Who did he fight again? Who did he fight again?
George Foreman.
George Foreman. That's who it was.
Yeah, he fought George Foreman. With Muhammad Ali, I was speaking about him on the show with Killer Priest yesterday, and they were talking about Manny Pacquiao. They were saying Manny Pacquiao changed when he got religion. You see what I'm saying? He got spiritual, and it affected his fighting. And I said, we on Muhammad Ali Eve. You have a contrast on one side, and then you have a contrast on another side. So his spiritual beliefs, his tenets, learning about himself made him a greater fighter and transformed him into a greater human being. Normally, when people walk a path, they kind of ease back from the stances that they may have had. No, it electrified him in a way that made him not only a greater person, you see what I'm saying, in an affinity towards his people, it made him a greater boxer. He fought with greater vigor. You see what I'm saying? Like he fought with a higher purpose. Like every time he sat somewhere, every time he went somewhere, every single time, whether he was in the ring or outside of the ring, when he presented himself to the public, he presented himself in an immaculate fashion, and he presented himself as a symbol of hope and pride and wellness towards Black people. You see what I'm saying? He was astute. He went from a young man to a grown man before our eyes, before fighting anybody. You see what I'm saying? And when he went and got the championship, he said, "My name is Muhammad Ali. You will call me Muhammad Ali." You understand what I'm saying? And then he fought for the name recognition, whether it was in the ring or outside of the ring. So there was many sacrifices that went along with it that kind of paved the way. So between John Carlos and Tommy Smith and Cassius Marcellus Clay, there's a through line for athletes, those in the entertainment sector, to be able to stand up. We know our brother Craig Hodges stood up as well. You see what I'm saying? So there's a through line after Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. There's a lane for what we witnessed based in this particular space when folks are standing up in their spiritual space. He not only stood up in a spiritual space, in a political space, but he stood up in a cultural space. He stood up in all three of these spaces as a man. You see what I'm saying? Where his counterparts was like, "What are you doing?" Like, no. I'm taking this 1A. I'm taking the draft. I'm going in, to the draft. So when other folks were doing that, he said, "I'm not doing that." You see what I'm saying? And
Facts.
He went to prison. He lost everything. You see what I'm saying? He lost everything for what he stood up for. So again, like we were speaking about Dr. Martin Luther King, what did you give up? What were you willing to sacrifice? You see what I'm saying? For what? If you believe something when it's comfortable, when it's fair weather, when it's all right, ain't nobody knocking on your door about what you believe. Ain't nobody surveilling your people, surveilling your organization. I heard you speaking about the Nation of Islam. They were compiling lists. They look for every single member of the Nation of Islam, looking for a defect, looking for a reject, looking for someone that they could use as operatives. And many of those people who were ex-members became operatives.
Facts. But we don't talk about that. But facts, brother, right. Knowledge boy.
So teach. Understand that they use organizations in that way. If they don't infiltrate them, and they did infiltrate. If they don't infiltrate, they infiltrate externally. So there were some issues that went along with that. I had the honor of meeting Muhammad Ali myself, Dr. Maat, one time in Chicago, downtown.
Wow.
After he was, real bad off with the Parkinson's.
Right.
I do it like that because you understand what I'm saying? That man, the sincerity of that man, the patience and kindness of that man. It had to be 300 of us that wanted the autograph or take the picture or shake his hand. I witnessed this man in his physically not well state, sit in a chair and talk to everybody. Everybody, spend time with every brother and sister that wanted to meet him, that wanted to take a picture, that wanted an autograph, that wanted some kind words.
Sound like him.
So their heart's content for about 5 hours.
Wow.
You know, I was at this ISNA conference out there in 2004 in Chicago, downtown, at the Hyatt. And he was there and he spoke. And he was there literally, it had to be about 5 hours. That was a long line. And you could tell, you know, he had to take breaks in between, but he made sure every single brother and sister who wanted to speak to him got a chance to speak to him. You know, I got the chance to shake his hand and I say, I love you and may Allah be pleased with you for all of your sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and may that reward be accepted in the afterlife. You see what I'm saying? Because that he kind of shifted in regards to, you know, his religious belief, but he never stopped believing in our people. You see what I'm saying? So to have that moment of time, you know, with him, you know, face to face. And you saw the greatness of the man. You saw how the tenets of what he believed and how it transcribed him, how he had a circumcision of the heart speaks. You see what I'm saying? And he went, you know, before the world. You know, there were some hostages in one of the Middle Eastern countries that Muhammad Ali was responsible for getting released. Like he spoke to them. He spoke a man off the ledge, if you remember, Dr. Maat. He was about to jump off and commit suicide. Muhammad Ali went up there and got the man off the ledge.
Mm.
So when we talk about this man, we talk about a man who began as a young man who went to learn how to box because he said someone stole his bike. And if he knew how to box, he would be able to defend himself against somebody trying to take his bike. And he went into that boxing arena and they saw this little kid and they had no idea that this kid was going to be a world champion.
Mm.
So you got a Muhammad Ali and then you got a Mike Tyson. But before we get to Mike Tyson, we got a Larry Holmes. So not only was he influential in the real world, he was influential in the boxing
world. That's right.
For forever. He's influential in the boxing world forever. And then he's, in the spiritual world, in the political world, and just in life. They said there's more books written about Muhammad Ali than Jesus Christ.
Mm.
There's more books written about Muhammad Ali than it is Jesus Christ. You understand? So that was something to take a point in regards to how the man lived and the sacrifices. You know, when you count up the cost. When you count up the cost. I know I mentioned Patrice Lumumba yesterday as well. Just look at the through line. Look at what had happened and what was going on. You see what I'm saying? So when he got called for the 1A, the draft, he refused.
Mm.
He didn't refuse because he didn't have no thing about America. They wasn't going to call him by his name. That's the first thing. And then he said that situation in Vietnam didn't concern him.
Exactly. And let me interject. So brother Richardson, he said Ali stood firm against the government. He wasn't for killing other communities that weren't oppressing him. And that's what you're getting ready to go into, how he was like, no, I'm not going over there. He said, Vietnam, they never called me nigga. They never did. What I'm gonna go over there and fight them for? You get what I'm saying? But go ahead, keep on building. Keep on building.
Right.
Great segue.
Right. And he was definitely looked upon unfavorably by Americans.
Right, he wasn't he was no longer patriotic. Remember, you ain't patriotic. But the white boys were scared to go over there. Remember, the white boys was jumping the border going to Canada, right? Were they not unpatriotic? I'm sorry, unpatriotic. Were they unpatriotic? But because that's what they were labeling people like the brother, him. Right. But they were draft dodgers. Remember, they was going across the Canadian line, the border, to get away from the war. You get what I'm saying? But he was labeled.
We got a president who dodged the draft. Nobody said nothing about him. Yeah. And he was one of the biggest warmongers in our presidential history.
That was Bush, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was Bush. Right, that wasn't Bush. Bush dodged it.
Yeah. Look, understand what's going on out here. You know what I mean? Like look, they killed a couple presidents to go to war. So just think about that. Muhammad Ali, yeah, he lost everything. You know, they always, show in the movies and different, documentaries and things like that, as if he didn't go to prison, like he just had to wait out. He was stripped of everything for 4.5 years. He went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of things associated with that. My great grandcousin Joe Frazier was helping to take care of his family.
Wow.
So there was, like all of the stuff that you saw on the screen, there was stuff behind the scenes that happened, that never kind of got brought to light. So it was a tumultuous situation in regards to the government's response, and to quell out that kind of what they would have deemed something infectious about. Because indiscriminate, if we were 3/5 of a person, Dr. Maat, we were in every single conflict that this country had, whether we were in servitude or whether we were out of servitude, quote unquote. Every single conflict, any skirmish that this place has ever concocted, Black people, because once you take a Black man out of the position, the home is affected. So Black families have been going to war in this country since its inception.
Facts.
Even previous, before its inception. Every single conflict, whether we had a weapon or not. You understand? Like, imagine you in a world war and they sent you all the way over to Africa or to France to dig ditches, to dig trenches, to dig graves.
Facts.
People shooting at you on the other side, and you ain't allowed to have a weapon. That's how afraid they are of you, and you still over there doing what you got to do. Oh, they said, well, you're not equal. You're not on the same playing field. You're subhuman, and you in the aircraft. You in the aircraft, and you're fighting in the aircraft, and not one single plane that you protected, ever bomber, ever got shot down. They don't have that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that legacy. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't, like that. So many of our elders and ancestors said if they could see us in a light fighting for this country, we got stake in America, then maybe they'll see us as human beings. And no contributions that we ever made in this country ever deemed us worthy in the eyes of subhuman things that we love to call human, in that way for us to be looked at as human. Somebody got to be human to deem you worthy of being a human. They see you as they see themselves, 3/5 of a human being.
That's facts.
So we had to have that understanding in regards to the kind of mind frame. Malcolm X spoke about Muhammad Ali and his character. And, he saw basically like the lapdogs in the entertainment industry. He said, and here comes Cassius Clay. Here comes Muhammad Ali to shake all of that up. This polarizing figure. He came in there. They got Apollo Creed's character from Muhammad Ali. He spoke about it. He said, he told Sylvester Stallone, y'all owe me a check for Apollo Creed. Okay, for them first 2 Rockies on stage. Right. Like he didn't dodge it. Okay, he let him know straight up. He said it, justly, but that was the truth. You see what I'm saying? So
his character, like his swag, his character, right. Got you.
And his boxing style, everything. You saw if you saw how Cassius Clay, Carl Weathers embodied Muhammad Ali with his talk and everything. You see what I'm saying? Like even predicting the rounds, I'll drop him like a bad habit and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Like that the whole personification in regards to what was being pushed. So this valiant champion, you see what I'm saying? This valiant champion, this champion of our people. So even with him and George Foreman going to Africa to fight, and him with the analysis of George Foreman got radicalized by being in the presence of Muhammad Ali for so long. He was upset. Like, first he was upset. He came over there to Africa with his German shepherds. If y'all remember When We Were Kings, the documentary, if I wanted to check that out, because I know you said you was going to watch Ali, and I agree with you, Dr. Maat. Will Smith was Muhammad Ali. Every bit of the facial expressions, the verbal, the nonverbal. He transformed from Will Smith into Muhammad Ali. I was looking.
Yes, he
I was
did.
like,
Yes, he did.
I was like, this is, yeah, he did that. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yes, he did.
Jamie Foxx did Ray, but Will Smith did Muhammad Ali.
Yes, he did. He did. He was Muhammad Ali. I mean, even the look of him, they had the look, the hair, you know, his body, his build, the way he talked, his, you know, his draw, because, you know, he was from Kentucky. So that draw, absolutely. Did I freeze?
Right. And he put on,
I'm good now because I feel like I froze. Okay, all right, okay. But I said that draw that he had, you know, that Kentucky draw. So he definitely had him down pat. Definitely,
he put on weight. He learned how to box, so he wasn't. He wanted to make sure that he was in his purest space to, you know, pay homage and give honor. And the transformation that you also spoke about, the Nation of Islam. I mean, that was the mandate. You know, my father was in the Nation of Islam. Like many of our parents, you know, became radicalized in that particular season. You see what I'm saying? So many of us had that pathway and other pathways, you know, surrounding it. What you said about the church was radicalized at that point. You see what I'm saying? The Deacons for Defense and Justice. Like there was nothing that we weren't doing that didn't have a kind of space that was pushing for Black empowerment and a better quality of life amongst our people. So
that is true.
When we had our own schools, when we was in our own space, we were able to teach and reach our youth in a way that had them prepared for the next level. Remember, Dr. Maat, we had schoolhouses because we had a one room type of situation, and we had kindergarten, K through 12. You know, this is how they got this K through 12 stuff. We had it in the same classroom. And all of the students were responsible for the children in the grades below them. So look at the acculturation that was happening in the schoolhouse.
I'm getting ready to shout you out one. I'm getting ready to show you one right now. Keep talking. I got one right here.
Whether it was the kindergartners in the first grade was responsible for the kindergarten, the second grade for the first grade, all of the kind of relationship in regards to ensuring that everyone that was in the room was engaged in what was going on. Because excellence and perfection was something that we had to personify. You know, we were always stressed about having to be 2 or 3 times greater than our opposition to make it out here in the society.
Facts.
And if you remember, a lot of our elders, a lot of them were doctors and lawyers, but a great majority of them were teachers. Great majority of them were teachers because we were socialized in that way. There wasn't a lot of athletes like you would see today. There wasn't a lot of entertainers like you would see today. There were, you know, brothers and sisters had either they had trades or they had education. You see what I'm saying? Understanding that we were responsible for everything in our community. And when you're responsible for everything in the community, you have to know all of the trades and the skills of your society, everything that makes your society go. None of our enemies was coming to fix your house or fix your car. You couldn't take your stuff to their dry cleaners or to their laundromats. So we had all of the things that we needed contained within the society, and the society began to push for integration, social integration, to be able to socialize with us economically and not personally.
Oh, yeah, facts.
So this was a conversation. You see what I'm saying? This is why the push had got made for social integration to take away. We had our own movie theaters, everything that was revolving around our entertainment. As a matter of fact, it was so attractive, our enemies would come to our entertainment type of situations You see what I'm saying? Like we spoke about the, well, not here. What we was talking about, the nightclubs and the bootlegging
I was
and
just
all
thinking,
of those.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. The nightclubs,
Right?
they be
Right.
right in there. You see,
Right.
even in the movies, you see them squeezing right in there, like you said,
Right.
coming in our spaces, our social spaces, and
Right.
and trying to partake. Absolutely.
Right. So the infrastructure that we built, and the reason why I was giving this context, because this is the environment that what could produce a Muhammad Ali, that could produce these black organizations that we know and that we love. You know what I mean? Like for more than 30 years, my own self, Dr. Maat, I bought the final call with my own money. Before that, my mother might have gave me $1, or she might have got the paper because she knew how I felt about the Nation of Islam. I'm saying, and as a young child, she would when you see the brothers out there, she get that dollar and get the paper. So when I became of age to get my own money, I bought it with my own money. So if you think about this, organization is about to be close. It's closer to 100 than it is to 90. So for 90 years, they found a way. I say from my own instance, ever since I was a child, I've been buying the final call with my own money. I want the people to name me a product that lasted for 30 years and the price only went up $1 in 30 years.
You can't.
$1 in 30 years.
That's what I said. You can't.
Like for my own money, with my own money. Look, that paper is $2. The paper's $2. Okay.
Even water has doubled. You know how back in the
Right.
day, the water bottles used to be,
Right.
You get them for $1 and all of that, and now you're paying $2.19 for the same bottle of water. So, like you said, everything has gone up. But you said how many years?
30 years. That's
30
at least
years.
30 years. It went
Right.
up $1. So from
Well,
$1 to $2. I remember I used to go to the store with my aunt, Dr. Maat, and I used to be in the store, and my aunt be like talking about how much everything costs. Oh, they went up on this, they went up on that, they went up on this. And I'd be like, can we just get the stuff so we can get up out of here? Now I find myself in the store like, oh man, I remember when, and then I had to give praise and honor to my ancestors. Like, this is what you was talking about, Auntie. So understanding how, inflation and things like that affected society, price gouging and the kind of greed. Like, I remember when this was 10 cents, now it's $2. You see what I'm saying? Like, you like, what? So now you got the frame of reference from things from a time span. Once you had some life experience in the physical realm, you understand like, oh, okay, when you're responsible for paying for things, you upset about how much things cost sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Like, we remember the gas crisis, but we don't just be thinking about the stuff that we buy because we need it, because it's a thing of convenience. You had to pump and it's $5, $6, $7 a gallon. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, how is this place still standing? Gas is like $10 in California. But this kind of infrastructure was one of those things that the Nation of Islam taught about separation and the need to do for self and have your own and control your own destiny. So many of the people were either affected by the teachings of the Nation of Islam indirectly or directly. So that kind of model was there. So Muhammad Ali came into that model after hearing Malcolm X speak. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan heard Malcolm speak. He heard him speak, and he was, radicalized. You see what I'm saying? Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, after meeting these teachings and so many more, a lot of them didn't stay in the Nation of Islam. A lot of them went and started their own organizations, as you alluded to.
Absolutely.
Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. Sonia Sanchez. There was many of the people that came with the teaching. So if you look at the 10-point program of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense and all of the other Panther formations that were coming after,
come on, say it. It looked like
what the Muslims want, what the Muslims believe. You see what I'm saying?
Come on.
You would have that kind of understanding. And this is the Black news. You see what I'm saying? This is the Black news, and has been a Black publication since its inception, from Muhammad Speaks to, the final call. And, we know Malcolm was responsible for creating that uh, Muhammad Speaks.
And and then brother, I'm saying, go ahead, because I wanted to plug you real quick before I got it out here, right? Where it says what Muslims want. One, we want freedom, and he says we want freedom. We want full and complete freedom. Two, we want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. Three, we want equality of opportunity. It says we want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. Four, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents or were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state of territory of their own, right? Either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land and that the area must be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply needs in the separate territory for at least the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. All right. And he says, it does say some more, but I'm going to move on to 5. It says 5, we want freedom for all believers of Islam now held in federal prisons. We want freedom for all Black men and women now under death sentence, innumerable prisons in the North as well as the South. We want every Black man and woman to have the freedom to accept or reject being separated from the slave master's children and establish land of their own. We know that the above plan for the solution of the Black and white conflict is the best and only answer to the problem between two people. 6, we want an immediate end to police brutality and mob attacks against the so-called Negro throughout the United States. It says some more, but I'm going to move on to 7. It says, as long as we are not allowed to establish a state or territory of our own, we demand not only equal justice under the laws of the United States, but equal employment opportunities. Now, 8, we want the government of the United States. We want the government of the United States to exempt our people from all taxation as long as we are deprived of equal justice under the laws of this land. 9, we want equal education, but separate schools up to 16 for boys and 18 for girls on the condition that girls be sent to women's colleges and universities. We want all Black children educated, taught, and trained by their own teachers. 10, we believe that intermarriage or race mixing should be prohibited. We want the religion of Islam taught without hindrance or suppression. So you ain't lying, brother. When I think of the 10-point program, let me get this off the screen because we're going to go there. Now I'm going to bring up the Black Panther Party. 10-point program. And it says right here, it was developed in 1966. And they said, 1, we want freedom. We want power to define the destiny of our Black community. 2, we want full employment of our people. Now it says more, family. I'm just kind of going through. 3, we want an end to the robbery by capitalists of the Black community. 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. 5, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. 6, we want all Black men to be exempt from military service. 7, we want an immediate end to police brutality and the murder of Black people. 8, we want freedom for all Black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. 9, we want all Black people, when brought to trial, to be tried by a court, by a jury of their peer group or people from their Black communities. And then 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. All right. And so, again, it's a whole lot of other stuff, but it just gives credence to what you just said. You don't get the 10-point program without getting this. And I wanted to read it, Brother Knowledge Born, because I didn't want folks to think that you were just talking outside of you were just talking. Like, no, let's read this and let's read that. So thank you for that, Brother Knowledge Born. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I want you all to hear from this great ancestor himself. He was getting interviewed This interview is from 1972. And he's going to talk about, how he got into boxing and then move into how black people should be moving in this country. Real good interview. Bear with me for about 20 or 30. Here we go. Oh.
Your career. What made you take up boxing as a child in Louisville?
Well, at 12 years old, someone stole my bicycle. What the display cars and refrigerators and household utensils and everything. And I went there and left my bicycle outside and came out. It was a drizzling rain that night, Saturday evening, about 9 o'clock. The bicycle was gone. I just got it for Christmas. Somebody asked me, I asked where was the nearest police officer. And they said in the basement, the same building that I just came out. And a fellow named Joe Martin was training amateur boxers in a room about this size. And he asked me to take out an application and learn how to fight so I can beat the fella up in joking fashion. He stole my bicycle. So I started boxing.
This led you on eventually to the Olympics. Was this your goal as a child and as a young man? Did you see that the best thing you could ever do was to be an Olympic champion?
I knew nothing about Olympics when I started. Nothing. I just boxed just to get on the local television show called Tomorrow's Champions. Every week at Saturdays in Louisville, Kentucky, we have a show called Tomorrow's Champions. And you've heard of the Kentucky Derby.
Sure.
That's where they have the races where I lived. I lived across the street from where they have the race every year. Anyway, I just wanted to get on local television. And I found out how good I was. And I kept on fighting. People say I'm conceited, I talk too much, but they must have pity on me. It's hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. And I won the Golden Gloves, the National AAU, and the Olympics. And then after the Olympics, I had all the gold medals, but no money. So I turned professional.
You told a story on one occasion about coming back from the Olympics with the medal to your own hometown. Did this make you a very big man in your own hometown? Did it completely change your life?
Well, made me popular for a few days, but I wanted to do something good with it. So I went downtown. At the time, black people was marching to eat in the white restaurants. They wanted rights to go where they wanted to. And so I said, I'll take this medal and I'll go downtown and I'll sit down in a restaurant. I got them on the spot now. And then I'll order something to eat. And I went down and I had my medal on and the lady was looking. And I said, I'd like a cheeseburger. She said, we don't serve Negroes. I said,
I want to stop right there, Brother Knowledge Born. So he is a gold medalist, right? Just won the Olympics, goes downtown with his medal around his neck, sits there, right? And she says, we don't serve Negroes. Just like you have our brothers that fought in Nam, right? In World War I and in World War II. And they would come back here and be treated like crap, right? The same people that you're fighting for, because they're in their military, right? So the same people you're fighting for, you're getting treated like crap when you come home. No honoring your own home, right?
Many hung in their uniforms, Dr. Maat.
Yeah, facts.
I don't eat them either. Just give me a cheeseburger.
How was it, Muhammad, anyway, to be a Negro boy in the South?
We say black now.
All right, black.
I know
all
she's
right.
talking about you.
All right. Is it not the same thing?
Brother Knowledge Born, did you hear him correct him? Yeah, the Negro. He's like, nah, black, and we don't do that. Again, our right to self-define. He paused. He did it in a nice way. He's like, nah, we don't do that no. We don't do that no more. I'm gonna stop pausing it because there's so many jewels. But I just wanted folks to catch it. He checked it right there. No.
Right there. And he said, the guy said, isn't it the same thing? Look how you're looking at him.
Right.
So look, you paused it right there on the he had to be prepared for this every single place that he went.
Facts.
So it was an education for anybody who looked at him and everybody who got in contact with him. He didn't waste no time. You remember him? He was on Different Strokes and a bunch of other TV shows and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was a lot of things that was going on.
Facts.
What? No, Negro. We are taught that all people are named after country. Chinese are named after China. Cubans are named after Cuba. Irish people are named after Ireland. Indonesians named after Indonesia. Japanese are named after Japan. Australians are named after Australia. But there's no country named Negro.
All right, then let me.
You understand?
I understand.
You're
Let me
not as dumb as you look.
Let me rephrase. Do I look that dumb?
No, it's joking.
What I really mean is, did you feel that you were deprived, that you and your family and other blacks were second-class citizens?
Did we feel it? We knew it. Not only second class, but about add up all the nationalities you have on earth, then they come first. Like right now, you can come to my town and you're more free in America than I am. Even Chinese, the Japanese that the black people help America to fight, or even the Germans. A day after the war in Vietnam, the Viet Cong will be more of a citizen than the American Negro. So, like, we might be the 50th class citizens, 60th class, if you really break it down. Second, if we was just second class, it'd be all right.
This is something you feel very strongly about.
Strongly, I know it's the truth. I live right there every day.
What attracted you then to Islam in the first instance?
The Muslim religion
Yes.
is the true teachings of Elijah Muhammad right there in America, and the power structure, nobody will challenge him. And the history of ourselves, the history of our true religion, our nationality, our names. See, we don't have our names, you know. I know how proud you all are, proud of your names. See, Chinese have names like Chang Chong, Lu Qian. This is Islamic teachings. Russians have names like Kosygin or Khrushchev. You have names like O'Connor or Grady or Kennedy. And Africans have names like Lumumba, Nkrumah. And Jews got names like Weinstein and Goldberg. And Italians got names like Dundee and Benvenuti and Marciano. But we have names like Grady and Clay and Hawkins and Smith and Jones and Johnson, but we are black.
These are the slave names.
Yeah,
This is
so
the
when I
point
heard this, I knew it was the truth. It's history. So Muhammad Ali is a beautiful black name of our ancestors. So when I heard this, I just had to walk out of the church and Christianity because they never taught us our true knowledge. Then they told me how we were brainwashed in America. We see Jesus, he's white with blonde hair and blue eyes. We see the Lord's Supper, all white people. We see the angels in heaven, all white people. And we look at Miss Universe, a white woman, Miss America, a white woman, Miss World, a white woman. Even Tarzan, the king of the jungles in Africa, he was white. He said, We see a white man swinging around Africa, with a diaper on. He beats up all Africans and break the lion's jaw. And then the Africans been in Africa for centuries, but he can't yet talk to the animals. But Tarzan, all of a sudden, some goat raised him up and he can talk to the animals. So I'm just showing you how the black man in America has been whitewashed his mind. And then we look at the good cowboys, they rode the white horses, and the president lived in a White House. They got TV commercials, White House cigars, White Swan soap, King White soap, White Cloud tissue paper, White Rain hair rinse, White Tornado Flow Wax, White Plus toothpaste. The president lived in a White House, and the angel food cake was the white cake, but the devil food cake was the chocolate cake. Everything good was white. And when I heard this, I said, boy, this is the truth. So our religion teaches us the knowledge of ourselves, the knowledge of our culture, the knowledge of our history. It makes us want to be with our own, marry our own, live with our own, clean up ourselves, do for self, quit forcing ourselves in white neighborhoods, but clean our own neighborhoods, makes us proud, makes us identify with our own brothers throughout the world. And after I heard this, being an intelligent man, then like I'm not only a winner in boxing or my stand on the draft, I'm a winner also in the movement that I follow for my people. And the only leader is Elijah Muhammad, who we believe was taught by Allah, God himself, to teach the so-called American Negroes the truth that's been hidden from them for 400 years, which will free them.
Why is it, do you think, that black Muslims preach the separation of the races rather than integration of the races, as indeed many American blacks do?
Well, when we say separation, we know that as of now, we always have to be trading with one another, living with one another. But when we say separate, we mean mainly mentally, as far as do for yourself, help self, Clean your own neighborhoods and make them a better place to live. And quit forcing yourself in the white neighborhoods because they're cleaner. Respect your women. Pool your resources, education, and qualifications for self-independence. And this is what we mainly teach about the separation. And one day, we believe that Black people should trade with one another. We've tried integrating for 400 years. And we've been kicked and shot and brutalized. You read about the news for years, and it's not working. So we believe that we should now come and try to do for ourselves. And I understand this is some of your problem in Ireland, where people are tired of being dominated by certain groups. They're tired of being ruled, and they're men, and they want to do for themselves. Same way in all countries. People are just tired, and they're revolutionizing things, and they want to be free. We've been in America under white domination, lynched, killed, raped, castrated, shot down daily, no justice in the courts, deprived of freedom, justice, and equality, and we just now want to be free, and we can't do it. We have found out that we're Black and white are disagreeable in peace. They can't get along together, so we think we should just now quit fighting, quit being violent. Now that we're doctors, now that we're lawyers, now that we're mechanics, now that we're educated, we're not needed to pick cotton no more. You got millions of Blacks been born every day in hospitals. There are no jobs. We think that we should now go on some land and build and construct and do for ourselves. That's all.
Do you mean, in actual fact, that there should be separate parts of the United States only for Negroes and separate parts only for whites?
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that we've been at 400 years fighting. We fought the Japanese, we fought the Germans, we fought the Koreans. If America went to war with Ireland tomorrow, the Black people would be over here shooting you so fast. All the Black people will be right here shooting you with the American flag. And we believe that since we've been fighting all of America's enemies, not our enemies, worked 400 years, 16 hours a day from sun up to sundown without a payday, that we should now be repaid. Don't give us nothing and give us or repay us. You got 50 states, then we make up 10% of the population, then divide off 10% of the land, let us build our own stores, make our own, grow our own food, make our own suits, and be like other people, and not always begging white people for houses, begging for jobs, begging for a seat in your restaurant. May I use your toilet? May I ride on your bus? Now that I'm grown and educated, now we're no longer slaves and we can't get along. Just let me go and live by myself like other people. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Muslims, of course, don't believe in war. At least you certainly don't believe in war, and you've demonstrated that by refusing to join the American army. But you have said on one occasion that possibly you could believe in a holy war.
Well, the Holy Quran, our religious book, teaches us that we who declare ourselves to be righteous Muslims do not take no part in wars, no way, fashion, or form, that take the lives of humans unless it's a holy war declared by God, Allah himself. And like this hadn't happened, and if it do happen, then we'll have a way of knowing because our religious leaders speak out. But we don't take no part in wars, not just the Vietnam War, but no war.
But would you fight in such a war, in a holy war of this sort? I mean, how would you know that you should fight?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Then while we have a leader who will speak, like all countries have leaders, we have a leader. And like if we attacked, and we're right, we believe in fighting if we are attacked, but not being the aggressor.
You go to South Africa very soon to box. Do you believe in the sort of separation of the races that they have in South Africa, what they call apartheid?
Not from what I hear. I hear it's unequal. We believe in an equal separation, and we'll only fight in South Africa under the condition that the audience not coming to change their policies, not coming to talk about them. We've just been invited. Otherwise, we wouldn't go. And we might not still go. We don't know. But the audience have to be separate, which is the way this has got to be. But the Black side has got to be equal to the white side in convenience and seating capacity and everything. And we'll fight on those conditions.
But how will you feel if you go to South Africa and go into a white man's restaurant, if you should perhaps want to, and were refused it? Wouldn't this take you back to the old sort of Louisville situation all over again?
No, I wouldn't. No, I mean, if a man didn't want me in his place, I'd just leave. I wouldn't want nobody to force themselves on me. And I wouldn't be looking for no trouble like that. My mind's too big for that. I don't want to be around nobody don't want me. I believe I'm the greatest. Well, what I want to be with somebody that's less than me. I'm the greatest. They should want to be with me is the way I look at it.
Right. Elijah Muhammad has said something which perhaps a lot of us white people have misunderstood. Perhaps you can explain it to me. He said that white men are devils.
Yes.
What does he mean by that?
He means just what he said. The deeds and the works of the man. He says the American devils. The lynching, the killing, cutting the Black people's private out, sticking it in the mouth is what they did to us. got a book called 100 Years of Lynching, written by white men, taking black women who was 4 months pregnant. They took us for years and hung us up at the feet and stuck a dagger in the stomach and ripped it and pulled the unborn baby out just to put fear in other slaves. They tied up black people to horses and 2 horses and pulled his arms out and pulled his legs out. Lemonade trains with white children and white people of America used to come and watch them tie up 10 or 15 black men and pour gasoline on them and burn them, watch them burn alive. They took us and hung us up with trees and shot us with bullets. They took and cut a hand off and gave it to the little boy and they took the leg off. And this is worse than the devil.
All right, but
see, the devil.
Ooh, I had to pause it, Brother Knowledge Born. Brother Knowledge Born, I had to pause it. Because, I mean, like, he didn't deny it. What do you mean? No, let me be specific. He said the American devil. Then he just said, shoot, well, this is even worse. After he described what they have done to our people, he said, this is even worse than the devil. So I'm being kind by just calling you a devil. Now, name a celebrity who is speaking truth to power like this? I mean, hell, they get nervous when Kanye opened up his mouth. Ye not even kicking it like this. He ain't kicking it like this, calling no white folks American devils. He didn't do that. I mean, he just said, oh, the Jews run Hollywood. They did that. They ready to cancel him and take away. Can you imagine if he got on national TV and espoused these views today, what would happen? Think about it. Even back then, you get what I'm saying? What he was putting on the line. He's like, yeah, I'm a Muslim. He talked about what Muslims believe. Yeah, we want to separate from you. No, we don't believe in integration. Yeah, we understand you owe us. He's talking about reparations. Yeah, give us our reparations and let's separate. That's what he's saying. And say, yeah, we call you, yes, not just devil, but American devils. This is what he's saying in this interview. And he's letting them know, we don't want to carry your slave names. We don't. I'm actually in the process, brother Knowledge Born. I'm dropping my name. I had to have a conversation with my father about that. You get what I'm saying? And I wanted to get his blessings, because ultimately that is his lineage also, even though my last name is tied to the people who formerly owned my father's lineage, so my father's father, right? But I said, it's time to let it go. So Knowledge Born, this year, I'll be legally Dr. Maat. That'll be legally. And my Bible out, he already went to the carpet and said, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. You put a lot of time and energy into that surname. Go in and carry that. And my son said, we'll switch over with you. We ready to rock and roll with you. And so it's happening this year. I can't wait, Brother Knowledge Born, to get on the part, like get on here and show the paperwork to the family. You get what I'm saying? Because I've been talking to the elders a while. Shout out to Baba Olatunji, who got his name changed. Shout out to Dr. Batu, Dr. Shakari Batu, who got his name changed. Shout out to Baba, Imhotep Fadiyu, who actually got his name changed. So I'm in the process of doing the same. But this short interview was packed with so much power. Let's keep going, family.
The preacher in the church taught us that the devil was up under the ground.
Right.
And he'll wait till he died before he burn us up. This white devil in America was worse because he burned us while we was alive. He didn't wait till we died. So what I'm trying to say is the deeds and the works. And I think this, if Elijah Muhammad can stand in America for 42 years before my little black self was born and say that the American white man is the devil, then the white man should get up and say you are a lie and carry him to court and say we are not the devil. Not one American, not one government official, one mayor, one senator, none of them will stand up and say that they are not devils and this man is lying. So what am I to do?
Right.
I believe it.
Do you believe that every white man is a devil? I mean, Angelo Dundee, Harold Conrad?
Angelo Dundee's Italian. He's got a lot of black blood in him. Harold Conrad's Jew.
So there are exceptions.
Listen. What I'm saying to you is this. I'm saying that Elijah Muhammad, our leader, teaches us this. And I believe everything he say. So it's not for me to prove that. You must remember, you have not lynched me. It wasn't the Germans that did this to us. It wasn't the white Canadians who's right on our border. He put emphasis on the American devils. He's missioned to America by God to preach the truth. So what I'm saying, let's say we got one white fella in America who has proved that he means right. Let's say we got another one. White people have died in demonstrations for black people. Now, here's the position I'm in. Here's 10,000 whites coming to kill me. And in those 10,000, or let's say here's 10,000 rattlesnakes coming to bite me. And in those 10,000, there was 1,000 that didn't mean no harm. And I knew there was a good 1,000 snakes out there, but they all look alike. Now, what should I do? Should I keep the door open and let the 10,000 in, hoping that the 1,000 will unite and save me and one bite or kill me? Or should I just be safe and shut the door? So we have white people say, I mean right. I have a black husband. Oh, my children are black. I love everybody. I really believe you. But I'm sorry, man, there's 10 more thousand behind you that don't feel that way. I'm just sorry, but what am I going to do? So I like to say this, that I know, I'll bet my hand on my family's life now that there's some whites that mean right and sorry that they're from this race. But there's so few until it don't really matter, until I can't forget all the lynching, all the depriving, all the murder, everything that's been happened because they're two that mean right.
Right, but
see, when America dropped bombs on Vietnam, she drops them.
Okay.
Babies, boys, when she dropped the bomb on Japan, she dropped it. They don't say some innocent, they just said war. So when a person in Belfast leave a bomb, they don't say, well, there's a kid that's innocent in here. There's an old lady, she's blind. They just boom, throw the bomb. So what I'm saying, not because they do, we have a problem. It's black and white. And maybe there's a few voices, I mean right, but there's so many that don't. So we have to look at the problem as a whole. I want to get that plain. I know there are whites that mean right.
Okay. You yourself have some little white blood in you.
Yeah, what are you saying?
You feel totally Negro, or do you feel
black?
Yeah.
Well, nobody is really totally. Like Chinese are yellow, they say, but they're not really yellow. They say you white. Give me something white. You don't look white. Here's white. See, this is white. You're not white. You kind of pinkish.
Okay.
You're not white. See, that's white.
Right.
So I'm not black, but I'm considered black. But as far as the blood is concerned, some people say you talk so bad about us in America. You have white blood in you. How did I get white blood in me?
Well, you know,
way back 100 and something years ago, the old slave master's wife used to get tired. And he would sneak back in old granny's shack. And old granny had big hips, and she was pretty and had a big breasts and big legs, and she was strong. She worked all day to clean up the white lady's house, raise the white lady's babies, and the old white lady was tired and weak, and old black slave was back there all strong, and he would slip back at night and close the door. And you know what he would do?
I can guess.
You can guess what he would do. And then here come me, half black. See?
If we can get back to fighting for just a moment. When a fight is coming up,
they laughing because they know what I'm talking about.
Everybody knows what you're talking about. But when a fight is coming up, you, it appears to me, deliberately build up a lot of pressure to intimidate your opponent.
And it intimidates the people. See, in America, the black people are always taught to be humble. You know, yes, boss. I'm sorry. Hey, boy, break. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. And never has a slave got up and said, I am the greatest. I'm beautiful. I'm pretty. I cannot lose. They said, that nigger talks too much. The nigger needs a good whooping, and they pay money to see me beat. And I go to the bank laughing, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. I am the greatest. That nigger talks, he's cocky. 1, 2. So, like, this is why I build up. Like when I fought Jerry Quarry, I said the last of the white hopes. You know.
But I saw
So
you
this
looking,
builds up.
I saw you
tension.
looking at Jerry Quarry at the weigh-in the other night on television last month, and you were giving him this stare, and he was staring back at you. Was he frightening you, or were you frightening him, or was neither of you frightening the other?
Well, I don't think neither of us was frightened, but I'm psyching him, so he lets me know he's not scared. But I don't see him or see me. I see people like you watching, but mainly in America. And they were looking and building it up to be a race war. I said, you don't stand a chance. I'm gonna run you out of the ring. And people in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, whoop that nigger. He talks too damn much. Hey, let's go see this fight. I don't really hate nobody, but people are so small-minded, it's easy to lead them. You know, you ever see the wrestlers? How there's always a good wrestler and a bad one. And he sticks his finger in his eye, and then the guy shakes it off in 2 minutes. His eyes clear up, and he sticks it in again, and he hits his back, and everybody hate him. He'll win the first round. And then the second round, the good fella wins, and that's what everybody come to see, though. Bad villain be beat up. I like to be the villain. But the things I'm telling you now, I won't tell in America on television because they'll start liking me. They say, oh, he's just tricking us. But when I get back to America, I'll be bad.
But you talk to people in the ring. You appear
I
to
want
be
to smile, but I don't.
you appear to be talking to.
What'd you say?
You appear when you're fighting.
I do.
Quite often.
I do.
To talk.
I talk.
What are you saying? Or,
Well,
or can you repeat that?
Well, some of them I won't repeat. But I have a few things to say to not for the public, but to confuse my opponent. Like I might say to a white fighter, listen, while I'm in the clinch, the Black Panther's outside. You don't stand a damn chance tonight, boy. Now burn your house down. He look at me, this guy's crazy. I have a lot of things I say.
Do you ever get into the ring hating the man you're
No,
going to fight?
never.
Do you get in with anxiety or fear?
I'm nervous because of the talking that I do, and I have to back it up. I think about people. I'm on a hell of a spot. I'm on a heck of a spot. Can you imagine Blue Lewis whooping me? I couldn't go back to America. No.
Do you have any private life at all, Mohammed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because all the time I've seen you in Ireland, up in your hotel and back and forth, people are staring at you, looking at you, wanting to touch you, wanting to talk to you.
Yeah, I have private life.
Well, you're a young man of 30. This seems to be a perpetual trot around the world that you do with people, Hey.
When I'm out, I rest at nights, and when I'm at home, like they have a saying, a prophet is never honored in his own home. Like when I leave home, I expect this. I'm new. You let me stay here 1 year, and they get tired of me. I'll lessen that. You see me every day. I'm coming like the Beatles. When they hit America, at home they were nothing. Tom Jones, and he comes to America, Tom. Be like when I come out, when I go home, I'm tired of that big man.
But the other day I saw a small boy sparring and boxing with you and so on. Do men ever try to do this? Does a man ever come up to you and say, look,
If he dreamed it, he better wake up and apologize. Never no trouble out of nobody. I don't have no trouble.
Mohammed, are you a wealthy man?
Yes.
I mean, are you a millionaire?
2 times.
Are you a big spender? Do you spend a lot of money?
Yeah, I'm stopping now. Yeah, I got too many cars. I got 6 cars, 3 of them Rolls Royces, which I don't need. And, you come up and pour and you get something, and I find all of them tell me this, and you go out just to say I had it. You really don't need it. The newness wears off. You're stuck with it. You can't sell it. It depreciates. So I'm just saving money now. I have 3 daughters and 1 son, blueprints for 6 more children, and we want to save all I can. So all I'm doing now every month is saving at least 75% of my money for the future of my children, putting it away for 15 years. I don't want to touch it. I don't need it.
You've said that you wouldn't allow your son to become a boxer.
No.
Why not?
Because it's rough, it's dangerous. It's impossible for him to be as good as I am. And I want him to use his brains. I didn't stay in school like I should. I don't have the education. I have common sense. I make it. I don't have no education in books and writing. But I want him to go to school and be a doctor, engineer, maybe a lawyer, something, a judge, just where he can use his brains. And while he's at youth, give him a tutor, all the teachers he needs, put up all the money for all the education.
So here it is, an entertainer, brother Knowledge Born, who said, do you want your child to follow in your footsteps and be a boxer? No, I want him to do something with his brain. I want him to be a thinker. And see, Elijah Muhammad and even Minister Farrakhan, all of them have pushed the believers and the followers to say, look, man, we need more thinkers. You hear Minister Farrakhan say this a lot. You heard Malcolm X say it. You heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that we need to stop pushing our children into the sports, right? The sports area, and push them into fields. They said practical fields, right? Practical fields where they have to use their brains to think. I just talked about this, brother Knowledge Born, on a live stream a few days ago. I said you had more parents who will sign their children up for sports than they'll sign them up for sports faster than they'll put them in the pre-college engineering program, faster than they'll put them in a program, right, for tutoring mathematics. And I said that I said right now, if your child is going to get a degree right now in a university or college, we in the space age, brother Knowledge Born. We have enough business degrees, okay? We have enough psychology degrees, liberal arts and humanities degrees, and I'm not knocking them and saying that these degrees aren't important, but we are in the space age, huh? So we need scientists, producers of technology, engineers, mathematicians. That's what we need right now. So if you're going to spend $30,000-$40,000 a year on a degree, at least push your child in the STEM field at this point. At least, and my whole thing is this too, Brother Nas Born. I was talking about the pro-black community. I said, we keep saying we want a nation build. You're not going to nation build without STEAM, not STEM, but STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and agriculture. I always say is that double A, and mathematics. You're not going to build. I don't care how much culture you know. I don't care how much history you know. You cannot build a nation without and maintain your nation without your scientists, producers of technology, engineers, your artists, right? The art, because we've been using art so some people get mad. Dr. Maat, why are you mixing the STEM fields with the STEAM and you talking about art? You know, it was a brother that slid in my inbox. I had to check him real fast. You mixing, you watering down the sciences and the math and the engineers with art. And I said, God damn it, man, these pro-blacks. Look, brother. K through 12 the K through 12 educators have realized that you can use art to teach certain concepts. I said, brother, just go study Kemetic history and see how our ancestors in Kemet utilize art. You can utilize art to convey ideas and concepts, to make it easier to teach ideas and concepts through art. You can do that. You can also affirm your creativity skills through art. So I said, brother, it's not watering down the disciplines. If anything, it's understanding the interconnection between the discipline and the usefulness or the utility of art, right? And then agriculture. Well, what do you think agricultural science is, right? Look at George Washington, right? And this is what I had to tell the brother. Look at George Washington. He's the perfect example of where science meets agriculture. He was considered an agricultural scientist. That's science. So, brother Knowledge Born.
George Washington Carver, Dr. Maat.
Come on.
George Washington Carver. Yeah. You ain't add the Carver at the end. I knew who you was talking about, but I ain't want nobody.
I said George Washington. I said George Washington Carver. That's what I said.
Okay.
That's what I said. George Washington Carver. I didn't say George Washington. I said George Washington Carver is a beautiful example of where agriculture meets science because he was an agricultural scientist. That's what I said. And so, anyway, I love that at this point, in the discussion that he asked him, "You want your son to grow up and box like you?" And he said, "No, man, I would rather push him to use his brain. Not that boxers don't, because it's a strategy to fighting. As I explained to my sons, I said that fighting is a skill. It's a skill. So, and you got to be strategic. You got to know when to throw a punch, when to block, right? When to play offense, when to play defense. So it's not that he's not using his brain, but he was just saying, I just want him to do something, something else, something else, another use of his brain. And so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, and we only got like 10 more minutes left on this interview. So here we go, family.
Where they can rely, like for an example, if I should lose a hand, I'm finished.
Right.
But a lawyer wouldn't, or a doctor wouldn't, see, necessarily. So I want him to get his brains ready.
A lot of boxers do end up broke. Are you better advised than other boxers as far as investments are concerned?
Well, I'm lucky that I have these before me to take an example. And I have mainly Herbert Muhammad, my manager, I have wise advisors, the son of our great leader Elijah Muhammad. And most of them were just brutes, and they didn't have a brain, and they had people, they were victim of the times using them, and they couldn't box and handle the business too. But I found out that many friends and people that come to you wanting to borrow money, this happens every day. 90% of my mail from all countries is loan me some money, or my daughter's sick, I'm trying to go through school, or I want to come to America, or this or that. I found out that the best thing to do is to have somebody to send them to, and he'll tell them that he can't, the budget is low.
The other day I heard Harold Conrad refer to you as the wizard, that you've got a lot of wizardry in you, that you can do a lot of things, you can see into the future, that you can put a hex on people.
Well, I can take, for example, to show you my power, some silver paper.
Cigarette paper?
Yeah, and I can wet it and fold it and hand it to me. Let me just, and this is gold. I don't know if this will work. You have any silver paper?
Might have some silver. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Somebody.
Tom, you haven't got any. Oh, here we are.
I can take this right here, for example, and you tell the people the truth. If it don't work, I don't. Maybe I'm powerful. I can take this here, and I can fold it up like this, and now you can give me your hand.
AG1 replaces all of these key health products. That's nutrition made simple.
And I can say, you just watch me and you concentrate. That paper's going to get warm. So warm until it'll start smoking. And that paper will keep on until it gets hot. Do you feel it?
Do I feel it? Can I just see it for a second?
Somebody from the audience? Got a lady, come here real fast. Any lady, come here. Any lady. No.
Here's one. Here we are.
Come here, young lady.
Here we are.
Just take your hand and hold this. Quick before it cools off. Is that hot?
It's quite hot. I'm not fooling. I'm not
Hold it.
fooling.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a wizard. Thank you. Oh, it's still hot. That's not bad.
The paper's actually red hot. It's
That's
really
not
hot.
bad. Quite truthfully, the paper is quite truthfully, it's still hot. It's still warm. Well, I don't know how it's done. That's not bad. That's not bad. Mohammed, to get back to things a little more serious, you were in the wilderness for 3 years because you refused to join the army. Do you have any regrets that you embraced the religion of
No.
of Muhammad?
No. Well, we are many people like when a man goes to war, he don't consider losing nothing. He's fighting for his country, what he believes. And we don't have no regrets if it's something we do from our heart and we want to do. Like I didn't have to do it. Something I wanted to do, so I don't regret it, and I'm really thankful that I did. Got strong because of it. And many people believe in fighting for the freedom, and this is just part of what I believed. So it's nothing that I regret, not at all. If I regret it, then it wasn't sincere.
But it lost you not only a great deal of money, but it could possibly have lost you your livelihood. In fact, it could have lost you your whole career. Isn't this so?
No, it wasn't.
Has it been worth it?
Well, yes. I mean, I haven't really lost nothing. I'm back in boxing bigger than ever. My salary is double. I'm invited to Peking, Red China. I'm the first one since Nixon from America. Open invitation, waiting what I want to go. I've been through all out of Arabia and Africa, met all the kings of the countries. And the peace, the world wants peace, and I represented it. And at a time when it wasn't too popular in America, and now it's common. And I'm not really, I don't pay no attention. And regardless to like many people are doing what I did, and they went to jail for it, and you don't read about them. At least I was a case that the world watched. And if I had went to prison, I would have been a famous celebrity. I would have gotten fan mail. I'd have got credit for my stand. But what about the people who nobody knows and they're doing it? So I look at them as being more great, I would say, than I am.
When the Supreme Court eventually decided that you were right and you had a perfect right to do this, you showed no resentment against the men who had kept you away from boxing. You were very quiet about it.
Then I would be a hypocrite if I did, because I expected them to recognize me for what I believed. And they did what they thought was right at the time they took my title. At the time they wouldn't let me box nowhere in the country. They just did what they thought was right. And for me to now to sue them or to condemn them or to speak out against them for doing what they thought was right, then this would be hypocritical. And at the same time, I expected them, although they didn't, to recognize me for what I believe. So how can I get on them for doing what they really believe was right?
Once or twice you've spoken, it seemed to me sometimes sadly, about retirement. Do you still think of retirement?
Oh, I wanted to, but I thought about my children. I watched the baby cry another day, and my wife was late giving the baby milk, and the baby raised hell. Ah! Just hollering. Don't know where they're going to get it, but they just expect you to have it. And I looked at about 6 more coming, and I said, 10 years from now, I won't be fighting. 10 years from now, that baby will just be 10 years old. And I'll need money. He'll need school books. He'll need clothes, bus fare. And then 20 years from now, my daughter will need a house or she'll need a job. And it'll be shame to say Muhammad Ali's daughter, a waitress in a restaurant. He made all of those millions. Oh, there's his son over there. Is in here. What I'm trying to say, I can earn enough money in 5 years if I invest it and put it up right to take care of my grandchildren. So I wanted to retire, but after I see these children coming and after I see that they
Brother Knowledge Born, and we only got 3 minutes left of this interview. You see how he was like, he's like, yeah, I did own a Rolls Royce. I owned all of that stuff. So he had his fun. And then he said, but, I'm not buying that stuff. I get that stuff away. It means nothing, right? It doesn't, appreciate with time. And he wanted to invest his money into things that appreciated over time. And you see how he's thinking legacy. He didn't say the word legacy, but he's saying legacy. He's thinking about preserving his legacy, not having fun and buying $200,000 necklaces, right? And flashing. He's like, forget all of that. I'm trying to have children. I think he said his magic number was, I think it was 9, right? I think it was 9, and he did have 9 children, by the way. But right. I think he wanted 9 and he got 9. But anyway, he was thinking about them. He said, I want to make sure that my children's children are okay. And that's why I keep asking Black families, what are you building that's going to outlive you? What are you building to ensure that your posterity, that your future is okay? I'm not thinking about just Jalen and Harvey and Isaiah, Brother Knowledge Born. I'm thinking about their seeds and their seeds. So what legacy are we creating in the family when we run out here and we procreate and we're bringing people into this realm? It can't be just let me get my job and make sure I provide them with food, clothing, and shelter and send them to the church, send them to the mosque, and then close my eyes, they bury me and they don't have nothing. Like it can't be that. And shout out to Baba Baruti, who wrote the book To Educate a People. He said there's a difference between raising and rearing your children. He said when you raise your children, you give your children the bare necessities, food, clothing, and shelter. But when you rear your damn children, you're concerned about their mental development, their emotional development, their spiritual development, their character, putting them in the position to win. Jay, where are you? Jalen. I guess he's probably downstairs, because I wanted to bring JJ on here because he'll tell you. I told him all you have to do is walk the path. All you have to do is walk the path that we have laid for you, and you're going to be fine. Hold on, let me get him on here real quick. Now, Jalen, come here. He probably said, "Golly, you put me on." He said, "You put me on here." He'll tell you. Well, that's what I'm thinking about. That's what we're building. He already set. All he got to do is walk the path. He's already set. That's the mentality that we need to have, Brother Knowledge Born. So I give thanks for Muhammad Ali. Come here, son. Come in. Say what up to the people.
Hey, Hotep.
Tell him a BB Fahodier.
BB Fahodier.
Look at Knowledge Born. You see Knowledge Born right there. Oh,
Hey.
Well, last time I seen him, he was like,
yeah, remember we had took you to when here RBG came and we did the flag fire high,
Yes.
and Knowledge grabbed you and he threw you in the air. Remember he was throwing you up in the air. You probably don't remember. You were little back then. But I wanted to tell the people, I just because I'm always talking about practicing what I preach, right?
Yes.
What are your honest thoughts about when I get online and I talk to the people about raising their children and how we should be moving with our children? Do you feel like that's how we actually move in this household?
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you feel like have been instilled in you in this household? If you had to think about some things, what's your thoughts?
Always treat a woman right.
Hmm?
How to treat a woman.
Try to treat a woman.
Respect your elders.
Respecting elders.
Be responsible.
Be responsible. What else? What about your culture and your history?
A whole lot of culture and history.
a whole lot of culture and history. Okay. And what about what are you going to be when you grow up? What are you going to be?
An electrical engineer.
Oh, you're going to school to be an electrical engineer. Do you have to worry about school loans and bills or anything?
No.
You don't? Okay. Has that been set up for you?
Yes.
What about investments? Do you have stocks and shares or anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What about a savings account? Do you have that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What about a family business? Are you a part of a family business?
Yes.
So when you you're getting ready to turn 13 in March, do you have to go out and ask white folks for a job?
No.
So who are you going to be working for? Who do you work for? Point to the person you work for. No. I need you to hold the finger up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you ain't got to go to no white folks and beg for a job, do you?
No.
Okay. And what about the house that we're currently in? Whose house is this going to be when you get out of college?
Mine.
It's going to be your house. So you're going to start off with a house, huh?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Pooh. Peace. All right. That's what I'm talking about, Brother Knowledge Born. And I don't need no accolades. I don't want no accolades for that. This is what we're supposed to be.
Look, be mad at me if you want to be mad at me. Be mad. Be mad. Look.
No, Brother Knowledge Born.
Do you
brother?
Do you know how many people got it wrong? You know how many people got it wrong?
But they got to change.
We need to see that. We need to see that. Please, just indulge me for 1 second, Dr. Maat. Please. Do you know how many generations wanted to do the same thing that you did, and they worked their fingers to the bone, and they left the legacy before you, and they died, and it's not remembered, it's not honored? Right. They sold their grandmother's house, they sold mama's house, they sold the land. You understand what I'm saying? No, like your generation will not have to start over, Dr. Maat. Like I know look, they don't have to find their way, they don't have to try to figure it out. We had to figure it out. They don't have to figure it out if they're dutiful. You see what I'm saying? If they're dutiful, like that was everything in the world. I remember that young man. He got bass in his voice now. You understand what I'm saying?
I remember when you grabbed him, he was like, and you throw him up in the air.
And he's a young thinking man. You see how calculated he was? He didn't just speak. He was reflecting before he spoke. And the poise in which he spoke, the confidence in what he spoke, he was already visualizing what you were saying to him, and he was responding. Like, that is a beautiful thing. Like, this is what we need to see. This is the normalcy that we need to create. When they talk about breaking generational curses, it's broken. That's broken. He doesn't have to contemplate and think. He doesn't have to be validated externally. He got to be validated. He's validated internally. He's walking by faith and sight at the same time.
Come on.
I
Come
love
on.
that. I love that. I love it. I'm telling you. I know you like, nah, no, yes.
No, but-
I need the yes. I need that.
No,
yes.
but let me tell you, brother Knowledge Boy, and I receive what you're saying, and I appreciate your words. But what I'm saying is this needs to be, like you said, and you said it perfectly, the norm. It needs to be the norm. And shout out to the brothers and sisters who are doing it. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who are doing it. I salute them, right? But this should be the norm across the boards. It broke my heart when I looked on IG the other day. Someone sent me a video of these young Black boys in Chicago. And they were angry. I saw the hurt, brother Knowledge Born. They were acting out in school, and there were some male teachers, trying to get a hold of them, but they were angry and they were upset. And people in the comment section, well, they need to, what's going on with their family? What's going on? And I responded, they probably have a dysfunctional family. They may not have a family at all. So we got to make sure that when we bring children into this realm, we got to make sure that we are rearing them in a healthy household. We have to make sure that we're doing it. And if, and ideally a 2-parent household, but I understand that relationships happen, but definitely a healthy co-parenting situation. It has to be that. It has to be that. You know what I mean? And so anyway, I just appreciate him talking, and I'm talking about Muhammad Ali, focusing on legacy, because that's how we need to be thinking. I'm thinking about, I planned his whole future out by the time he was 6. Our family planned his future out by the time he was 6. He was 6 and he had a plan for his life. A lot of us don't have plans for our children. We just have them and we provide them with food, clothing, and shelter. You could do that with a cat and a dog. We provide them with that, and then we send them on our way. Where's the plan for their life? Where's the plan to make sure that they are? So I told them, just all you got to do is walk the path. All you got to do is walk the path and you will be fine. But that's what we have to be into the business of doing, thinking legacy. What do you want your lineage to look like? What do you want your lineage to look like? And brother Knowledge Born, if it happened, because I've been praying for it, hopefully this year, I'll be wobbling on here one day. Y'all go, I'm going to sit down one day, brother Knowledge Boy. Y'all say, whoa, what's going on with Dr. Maat? I'm going to sit down like this. Y'all going to say, what's going on? Seriously, brother Knowledge Born. Seriously. And if I could have 10 more, I would. If I could afford to, but I can't afford 10 more. But if I could have 10 more, I would. But anyway, going back to this, it's only 3 minutes left. I give thanks for Muhammad Ali and just what he's speaking on right now. And that's legacy. Here we go.
They're going to have a hard time. Maybe they won't be blessed to make it like myself. I can knock out Blue Lewis. I can go knock out Floyd Patterson. I can knock out Joe Frazier. I can come back and knock out and if you get your Irish champion, come knock him out. Then I can go back over here and knock something. Didn't get too much of a laugh on that, did I?
You're in Ireland. Agreed.
So what I'm trying to say, if I can save up about $2 million, which is about how many pounds?
That's almost £1 million.
Almost $1 million. If I can save up 1 million pounds, then I can relax and go to sleep and retire and don't have to worry about my children, because this is a hard world. Don't nobody give you nothing. You have to work for it. Right?
Right.
So I'm blessed to be able to beat up everybody. So I want to beat up everybody until I can't beat them no more. If I can go 10 more years, I'm going to keep on doing it.
Good. Most of your poems, like the one you spoke a few moments ago, are funny. But you've written one about your own people, I think at the time of the Attica prison riot. It's a serious poem. You have certainly very serious moments, as you've shown us tonight. Could you, before we go, just say that poem for us?
Oh, this poem explains the Attica prison. You heard that over here when all the black prisoners were shot, and just before they held some white hostages, and they said they would cut the throats if they didn't get what they wanted. And the word was, well, if the throats are cut, then shoot and kill everybody. They found out during the autopsy that the throats were not cut. They just shot them for nothing. The trigger-happy policeman, and that Rockefeller gave word 10 minutes or so, if they don't give up, I think it's the way it went, open fire. And one black prisoner came out to speak to the warden. And he said, you have 10 minutes to surrender. What's your reply? Are we going to come in shooting? and the black prisoner came out. Poetic poem. This didn't happen, but this is what I wrote.
Giving your body what it needs to thrive doesn't have to be complicated. AG1 replaces all of these key health.
He said, better far from all I see, to die fighting to be free. What more fitting end could be? Better surely than in some bed where in broken health I'm led, lingering until I'm dead. Better than with prayers and pleas are in the clutch of some disease, wasting slowly by degrees. Better than of heart attack are some dose of drug I lack. Let me die by being black. Better far that I should go standing here against the foe. Is the sweeter death to know? Better than the bloody stain on some highway where I'm lame, torn by flying glass and pain. Better call in death to come than to die another dumb, muted victim in the slum. Better than of this prison rot, if there's any choice I've got, kill me here on the spot. Better far my fight to wage now while my blood boils with rage, lest it cool with ancient age. Better violent for us to die than to Uncle Tom and try, making peace just to live a lie. Better now that I say my sooth, I'm gonna die demanding truth while I'm still akin to youth. Better now than later on, now that fear of death is gone, never mind another dawn. They opened fire on them, but they died telling it like it was.
Muhammad Ali.
I have another thing to say. This is one thing. This is one thing I love and I admire about the Irish people. I studied a little of history since I've been here. I found out you've been underdogs for years, hundreds of years, people dominating you and ruling you, and you can identify with this freedom struggle, you understand? But I just have mine on the other side of the water. But we all are fighting for the same cause and idea, but we have different reasons and different approaches.
Muhammad Ali, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Woo! Oh my gosh, Ashe, I gotta drop a bomb for him. Oh my gosh, that interview, Brother Knowledge Born, was just off the chain. So, Brother Knowledge Born, I'm gonna let you close out because I feel like I paused it throughout and I gave my spill. So I want to hear your spill on what you felt about the interview, Brother Knowledge Born. You have the floor, brother.
Well, I think it was very remarkable on a couple of different levels. I wanted, and I'm so glad that you found this one, because this one you get a chance to see the myriad of thought, the range. It wasn't just one particular way or another particular way. He showed how you could use wit, how you could use comedy, how you could use satire, how you could use story, like anecdotal evidence, or like all of the other ways to present a point. And he didn't back away from any points or anything like that. And
no, he didn't.
He got the people involved. They were captivated. You saw the interviewer's face a couple of times, even though he didn't agree,
right,
necessarily. You understand? He still had him engaged. He was captivated, like he was in awe. You understand what I'm saying? You saw the
Absolutely.
little thing when she walked up on the stage. The young thing came up on the stage, and she didn't know what to do. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't know what to do. And he used the magic of his charisma, the magic of our people, the magic of the lineage. He did not shrug this opportunity to make a fool out of himself before the world. They're in Ireland. You see what I'm saying? So just like we witnessed with Dr. King making that speech in a room full of those things, you see what I'm saying? And he stood strong. So the next day we're here in the same space, and he's standing strong before the world. He's presenting himself in an upright fashion. This is 1972, 74 and 75. 74 was the Rumble in the Jungle. 75 was the Thriller in Manila. You see what I'm saying? So before the world, he talked about those sacrifices, but those sacrifices made him greater. They didn't make him worse. Those sacrifices made him greater. That 3.5 year period made him greater. You see what I'm saying? So who else would be in that kind of space? You know, like I was saying before, it's easy to read about Jesus Christ than to be a Jesus Christ. So again, we on this next day, we see another Jesus Christ. He got crucified before the world. People wasn't coming to his aid. They wasn't coming to his rescue. They wouldn't even stand next to him. All of the media outlets, all of the people that he made money, people had turned their back on him. He was there. He was still standing strong. It was just a few people behind the scenes that was helping him out and helping his family out. There was a few networks. There was a few commentators that would interview him. People wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. So after everything is gone, all of the fanfare and all of these other things that was happening that was associated with him being the champion, people did not champion his cause. People didn't champion his understanding, but he still continued to stand strong in that space. Would you stand strong in that space? You see what I'm saying? Search yourselves and think about would you stand strong in this space. You know, a lot of things happen in that time frame. He looked like he wore it well, but how would you wear it? How would you be able to handle it? How would you carry it? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So for him to say and look that thing in his face and say, I'm the greatest. Why would I care about being accepted by you or being welcome in your establishment? This is what he told the man about the when he gave the thing about apartheid in South Africa. You go into a place and with that dampen your spirit. Like he walked through the chronos of his life in a short span of time to where he's showing how every obstacle that was in his path made him who he was in that day, and having the wisdom, the supreme wisdom enough to rid his next generations of that same thing. With every breath that he took, every fight that he signed up for, what he was doing, So he showed this growth, he showed this maturity, and we don't often get a chance to see that from the entertainment industry. We don't get a chance to see, folks evolve in the way that he evolved, in the way he transformed his eloquency. He wasn't a brute. He wasn't the punchy boxer. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so all of those things that happened, and his, great sense and connection to spirit and humanity, regardless. You see what I'm saying? That champion of the people, as you stated, Dr. Maat, as the people were saying, he showed it. He didn't just talk about it, he showed it.
Oh, he showed
it. As the scriptures say, charity begins at home. He showed at home, and a good man leaves a legacy for his children. He's talking to you about it. And then you demonstrated it. You demonstrated it as further evidence. So there's sparks that come along with it, whether they're known or unknown, that were there. They're tangibles and intangibles to be taken away from, this interview in this space. And he could have said anything. He could have did anything. And what he chose to do was to be an upright man and a example of Black manhood. You see what I'm saying? He demanded respect. He didn't kowtow. He didn't buck dance. He didn't, there was no lowly. 1972, for all of the people that are out here listening, this is 1972. And
come on.
He was talking about black in 1972, refusing to be called Negro in 1972. He wasn't a Negro. You understand what I'm saying? In 1972, this interviewer was still calling him Negro, referring to us as Negro in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So that's 51 years ago now. 51 years ago. For those, I need you to look at the timeline and understand what's going on. 51 years ago. So people that's alive, that's 51, were called Negro in 1972. And he refused that. He said, we use black now. We use black. You're going to refer to me as black. You understand what I'm saying?
The right to self-define.
Right. The right to self-define. In every aspect. It wasn't just like he had his goal lined up. And he said he would sacrifice his body and his health and his well-being for his future generation. For his future generation. He had a strategic plan. He said 5 years. If he could get 10 years out of it, that would be 82 from that date. And that would be 1982, that he would commit his body to be subjected. And we watched him in the ring, Dr. Maat, when we go back and look
Yeah.
at those fights.
The old tapes, yeah.
He refused to go down. You understand? Like he refused to go down. My great grand cousin, he was one of the men who put him on the mat. You understand what I'm saying? Smoking Joe Frazier, he put him on the mat. But he was a man that had that courage. We come from men that have that kind of courage. Where's that courage at today? For everybody with all of these stances and all of this internet talk, like, where's the stance?
Come on.
How are black women still in the state that they in? How are black children still in the state that they in? We can't herald this man and then don't see any of the examples of this stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right, knowledge.
Of making things better. Like, what conditions are you making better in your own life, within your own self, within your own family? Who's still educating your children?
Come on.
Who's still educating your children? What legacy, what chance do they have? Did that education system work for you?
Come on now.
Did it work for you? What did it do for you? You understand what I'm saying? So let's take this opportunity while we're celebrating, honoring the legacy, and create the legacy. Create a new legacy. Create a new normal. You see what I'm saying? Let's double down with Dr. Maat. Y'all saw with Dr. Maat right there. You could judge a nation by its flag. You could judge a tree by the fruit it bears. Look at her fruit. Her fruit looks amazing. You understand what I'm saying? Where's your fruit? Produce your fruit. Produce your fruit, your best fruit. Let's deal with this best part. We've been dealing with the poor part for so long. Let's deal with the best part. Let's return back to self-reliance. They got enough athletes. We got problems to solve in our community. It takes all types, like the scripture said. So let's train up all types. So if you want a self-defense organization that's going to patrol your communities, let's build up that army with the right premise.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So they was talking about we talked about the Vietnam War yesterday and today. They was rice farmers. Those was rice farmers that beat the #1 military and every other military from the world in their space. Their people were out there telling them, if you die on this battlefield, you will go straight back to your ancestors. You're not here. They can't defeat you. They can't defeat you. If you die, you immediately go back to your ancestors. They waiting for you. They right here. This is what they were saying to their people. This is why this not even 5 foot tall, man over there in Vietnam fought the greatest army in the world and expelled them out of there, and they're not in Vietnam.
Come on.
What was they saying to the Somalians? You understand what I'm saying? Like, we come from warriors and great people. 250 insurrections here on this soil is the reason why they was like, look, we just gotta let them go. We gotta let them go. We gotta emancipate. We tired of getting our behind whooped over here. We gotta understand this ingenuity and spirit that we have. We just have to direct it. We're witnessing it now, but we're not witnessing it righteously amongst our people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you want something to fight for, if you want something to transmute that energy that you have, that warrior spirit, let's do it in a way where we build something that's going to outlast us.
Come on.
For the next generation. Let's no longer consider things that are not going to work for us for the next 7 to 10 generations. Let's not allow anybody else to speak for us or come amongst us with these soothsaying slip talks. You understand what I'm saying? That's not giving us something practical to implement that's going to help us as a family, as a people, as a nation for the next 7 to 10 years, 7 to 10 generations. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? So he was prepared. So let's use that blueprint to continue on for Black Power. Let's no longer be good with just lip service. Let's get into the implementation. So that was the last thing I wanted to say.
No, Ashe. No, Ashe. No, I already know. I mean, I'm just like, Ashe. And so anyway, family, Knowledge Born, first and foremost, thank you, brother, for coming through. I know I send you the link spontaneously. He said, brother, come on if you can. And each time you like, I'm there. I got you. I'm there. And so I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the people in the chat who came through. Family, join me on Thursday at 7 p.m. Is it 7 p.m.? No, it's 3 p.m. I think I made the wrong announcement, brother Knowledge Born. I want to say it's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. So I'm bringing on Baba Ashwell Kwesi. And so I called up Baba and I said, Baba, they're giving, Kevin Hart hell, man, because he said the ancient Egyptians were black. And Baba said, yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, he said, I heard it. He said, I heard that they've been coming after Kevin Hart because of that. So he's going to come on this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to address that. Were the Egyptians black? When I brought on Brother Ankh came from the UNESCO, Volume 1, where the conclusion was. And, I believe they talked about the Cairo Symposium in there. And when oh my goodness. Dr. Sheikh Anti-Jope and Theophilo Benga, they were at the Cairo, I want to say it's called the Cairo Symposium. And what came out of it, I think they talked about that in that first UNESCO volume that Brother Ankh always promotes. But he was saying that the conclusion was they were indigenous Africans, in an array of different colors. And I said, well, Ankh, we would say black. You get what I'm saying? Because black comes in a variety of colors. But anyway, so he and I kind of went back and forth a little bit on that. But Baba Ashwell Kwesi will be in the building this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss the ethnicity of the Egyptians. Like, were the ancient Egyptians, was it various, ethnicities there? What was it? So you read online, some people say, oh, they were a mixture of, indigenous African and Mediterranean, right? Okay. But in its inception, when Kemet was established, who established Kemet? And so we're going to deal with that on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe last night or the night before, I said it was going to be at 7 p.m., but it's not, because Baba had some things going on in the evening that he's dealing with. So we will be live. If you don't catch the live, family, which I hope that you do, because Baba's bringing a presentation. He has slides and everything. He's coming with slides. So you want to be in the building. And if you have questions, you'll be able to ask them right in the chat. Okay. But if not, definitely make sure that you catch the discussion later if you can't make it at 3 p.m. All right. And so anyway, Brother Knowledge Born, do you have any closing words, brother, for the listening audience?
I see that divine example. We got one of our great scholars, one of our great elders, who sacrificed much of his adult life to
Absolutely
bring us this information, to reorganize our psyche. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, from that same time period. You see, so like this is the chance to put arms around our great minds while they're still here. You see what I'm saying? So him and Mary Rock Crazy, that Queen Mother, the sacrifices that they have given, were insurmountable over the years. So please, please, please be in the building for our Baba, coming through and love on them. You see what I'm saying? Love on him. Find a way to contact him. He loved to hear from us all the time. You see what I'm saying? We can't do that. We have too many examples of the neglect on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If you ain't got something in your pocket for him, Bible, I just love you. I was watching this, so I was listening to this, so blah blah blah. Like give him that love, give that family that love. They are warriors for our people that continue to look. Dr. Maat was like, "Hey, Baba, I need you for this," and he ain't say, "Hey, I'm too busy for you." Just remember the scholar that comes through the scholarship that comes through this place. You see what I'm saying? And support this platform, support Anime Productions. Dr. Maat and her family gave a part of their legacy to us. Her entire family is involved in this undertaking to give to us, for us to be able to have our children. My children were sitting in the living room, and it was like Beltrek. You understand what I'm saying?
Brother Knowledge Born, when I tell you, brother, when I tell you that episode 3 is getting ready to drop, and when I tell you that this is going to be one of the best episodes that we've produced, I think it's when you see it, it's going to be very moving, very powerful. The animation, the quality of the animation, the quality of the voiceover, the music. Shout out to B Dot. Brother B Dot did the music. So shout out to him. You know, shout out to the whole team, Right Way Studios. I mean, it's this one, man. When I say our children are going to be exposed to so much, they're going to be exposed not only to African history, but African spirituality. They're going to be exposed to Ifa, the Adinkra symbols, you know, all sorts of stuff. And so MELTREK episode 3 is taking it to, you know, a whole nother level, man. And it should be out by the summer. As we produce it, people who tune into my platform, they're going to be seeing clips of it, and I guarantee you when it drops, it's going to be explosive. So look out for that, family. This June, just June or July. But Brother Knowledge Born, appreciate you coming on, brother. I won't be live, family, tomorrow, but I will be live again on Thursday at 3 p.m. and also on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brother Knowledge Born, I got to play my theme song, Truth to Power Talk, because I feel like our great ancestor, Muhammad Ali, you know, he spoke a lot of truth to power, you know, and so I think that this song is very, very fitting, you know, as an outro. So peace and love to you, Brother Knowledge Born. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for sliding through.
Poison the mind, put the woke back to sleep, keep the deaf, dumb, and blind. Reparations now, separation now. Cause every time we rise, they make laws to keep us down. How many children have to die, huh? To see they don't want us around, they left the babe inside our blood, future buried in the ground. Still we rise, we burst through the flames of the fire. Warrior spirit, make the devil retire. Elijah Farrakhan, they expose all the liars. Time to come together, build our own empire.
You can't fool me with the propaganda. The devil used to bruise me with a stop and slander. Can't confuse me now, we got the answers. Masked up, red, black, green bandanas. Yo, it's just the path that we chose. Black rebellious soul is more than my clothes. This the truth, the power talk. Front line, about time, final hour thoughts.